Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video lecture, we are going to start chapter number 6, Plane Analytic Geometry. The main topic that we will discuss in this chapter is straight line, which is a plane curve. Before to discuss different forms of straight lines, first we briefly discuss that what is analytic geometry. Before 16th century, algebra and geometry were considered to be two different subjects. The mathematician Descartes was the first mathematician that he noticed that these two subjects, algebra and geometry, could be united, and that each subject could contribute to the development of the other subject. So when he take the union of these two subjects, so it becomes analytic geometry. So what is the meaning of the union of these two subjects? For example, let's say we are finding the distance between 2 points. Let's say this is point A and here we have a point B, and we are finding the distance between 2 points. So we cannot measure this distance by a scale. In analytic geometry, we have some equation which calculated the distance. So when the geometrical properties are achieved with the help of algebra, so such branch of mathematics is called analytic geometry, and that is the union of these two subjects. आसान अल्फाज में जब हम किसी भी ज्योमेट्रिकल शेप की कोई ज्योमेट्रिकल प्रॉपर्टी फाइंड करते हैं, लेट्स से यू आर फाइंडिंग द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन ए एंड बी आर, लेट्स से you need to find out the area of this circle, let's say this center and now the radius is r, or you are finding the volume of a cylinder and using using some algebraic equation. So that branch of mathematics is called analytic geometry. तो हम जब एनालिटिक ज्योमेट्री में हर एक ज्योमेट्रिकल फिगर के लिए एक इक्वेशन होगी, और हर एक इक्वेशन जो हमारे पास फंक्शन होता है उसके लिए हमारे पास एक कर्व होता है. यहाँ पे हमने प्लेन एनालिटिक ज्योमेट्री को डिस्कस करना है. तो प्लेन एनालिटिक ज्योमेट्री में वो शेप्स या वो कर्व्स हम डिस्कस करेंगे जो प्लेन के अंदर होंगे. तो ये आप याद रख लें कि प्लेन ज्योमेट्री is that type of geometry which deals with plane figures. तो यहाँ आपके पास प्लेन एनालिटिक ज्योमेट्री है, तो यहाँ पे आपके पास प्लेन एनालिटिक ज्योमेट्री उन कर्व्स के साथ, उन शेप्स के साथ डील करेगा जो प्लेन के अंदर हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू क्लियरली सी दैट दिस सर्कल, this line segment lies in plane, but the cylinder, this is not in the plane, this is in 3D. ये आपके पास प्लेन में नहीं. तो जो आपके पास प्लेन कर्व्स हैं उनको हम यहाँ पे डिस्कस करेंगे. सबसे पहले आपका एक ऐसा प्लेन कर्व जो सिंपलेस्ट इसको आप कह सकते हैं वो स्ट्रेट लाइन होता है. तो हम पहली डिस्कशन करेंगे स्ट्रेट लाइन के ऊपर. बिफोर टू डिस्कस द स्ट्रेट लाइन, for example, if I take a point in this plane, let's say this is the point. So how I can identify the position of this point? How I can identify the position of this point? For the position, we need the reference frame, because if you draw a reference frame, which is also called rectangular coordinate plane, so according to that you can find the position of this point, and the position of this point is actually the coordinates of this point, Coordinates tells you that this point is x unit away from the y-axis and y unit away from the x-axis, mean this point has x unit distance on the x-axis and y unit distance on the y-axis. So if you draw a rectangular coordinate system, which is also called a reference frame, so this horizontal line is called x-axis, the vertical line is called y-axis. Now you are finding the position of this point. So let's say the distance of this point, mean the horizontal distance is, let's say, small x unit, and the vertical distance is small y unit. So the coordinate of this point becomes xy ordered pair. So this ordered pair tells you that the point has x unit distance on the x-axis, mean horizontal distance, and y unit distance on the y-axis, mean vertical distance. Or in other words, you can say that this point, let's say this is a point P. The point P is x unit away from y-axis and y unit away from the x-axis. So this ordered pairs tells you the position of this point, or in other words, you can say the coordinates gives you the position of the point in plane. If you draw this rectangular coordinate plane not in the same fashion, for example, now let's say this is my rectangular coordinate plane. So in this case, the position of this point will be changed. So it means that the position of the point is dependent on the rectangular coordinate plane or the reference frame. So what is the rectangular coordinate plane or a reference frame? Actually, these horizontal and vertical line divided the plane into 4 quadrants. So this is, now you see, I am discussing the reference frame, which is also called rectangular coordinate plane. So actually this is a center, the point of intersection. Okay, the two lines x0 x dash and y o capital O y dash, horizontal line and vertical line intersect each other at this point and they are perpendicular to each other at the point O. Actually, these horizontal and vertical lines divide the plane into 4 quadrants, into 4 parts, and each part is called quadrant. So this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. In these quadrants, in first quadrant, there will be the positive x-axis and positive y-axis. Here x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0. In second quadrant, x is less than 0 and y is greater than 0. In third quadrant, x is less than 0, y is less than 0. And in fourth quadrant, x is greater than 0, y is less than 0. Okay. So the horizontal line is called x-axis and the vertical line is called y-axis, and the point of intersection is called the origin. This is called the origin, and if you take a point phi in this plane, so the coordinates of this point is, let's say, xy. So it means that the distance of this point on the x-axis is small x unit, it may be 2, 10, 20, and the distance of this point on the y-axis is small y. So this point is x unit away from the y-axis and y unit away from the x-axis. Okay, so the coordinates of the point p x y are respective distances from the y-axis and x-axis. Okay, so this is about the point. You must remember one point, that in mathematics every curve is actually a set of points. For example, if I take a curve, let's say the curve is y is equal to x square. So now, and let's say I am taking the domain with this function is 0 2. So now this is the curve 0 to 2. So this curve is the set of points. In mathematics, every curve or every graph is the set of points. So now this curve lies in the plane, so it will be the set of the points of the plane. And you know that for every point in the plane we have an ordered pair which has the x coordinate and y coordinate to represent their position in that plane. So you remember that there is a 1-1 correspondence. There is a 1-1 correspondence between the points in plane and set of ordered pairs. Okay, now you see this is the set of points. When you join the set of points in this fashion, so you get the curve y is equal to x square. So you know for each point on this curve you must have some ordered pair, and the coordinates of that ordered pair mean the value of x and y will satisfy this equation, because any point lying on the graph of the given equation will always satisfies that equation. Remember this point. If I take this point which lies on the graph of this equation, this point has coordinates x and y, because when you substitute x in this function in this equation you get the value of y. This is y, so the coordinate of this point x and y, when you substitute, let's say this is x naught and let's say this is y naught. So when you substitute that x naught and y naught in place of x and y respectively in the given equation, so left hand side will be equal to right hand side, because the points which lies on the graph of a function are always the solution of the equation. Okay, so that is the main point. Okay, now we are defining that what will be the equation of the what will be the definition of the graph of a curve, or you can say that a graph of an equation. So the next definition is graph of an equation. For example, if I take the graph of y is equal to x square in the restricted domain 0 to 2, so you all clearly see that this is the set of points. This is the set of points. But every point lying on the graph on the curve y is equal to x square, this is your equation, is actually in these points. Let's say if I take this point and now let's say this is 1. So when you put 1, so how you can calculate the x coordinate of this point is 1. Now how you can calculate the y coordinate of this point? You need to substitute that one in the given equation. So when you substitute 1 in the given equation, so y will be equal to 1 square, and 1 square mean 1. So you get 1. So the y coordinate is 1. So it means that actually graph of a function is a set of the points ordered phase, because set of points. So now we are discussing plane curves. So plane curves is actually the set of the points which lies in a plane. If you are discussing the uh, 3D curves which are actually the surfaces, so for that case, that geometrical figures will be also considered as a set of points, but there will be ordered trifle for each point in the space. But we are discussing plane curves, so that's why for every point in plane we have two coordinates. Mean for every point in plane there must be an ordered pair. So you clearly know कि हमारे पास जो ग्राफ्स होते हैं वो सेट ऑफ पॉइंट्स होते हैं. अब ये सेट ऑफ पॉइंट्स प्लेन के अंदर होंगे तो तमाम सेट ऑफ पॉइंट्स, लेकिन कौन से सेट ऑफ पॉइंट्स? वो सेट ऑफ पॉइंट्स एक्स वाई, दिस इज सेट ऑफ पॉइंट्स such that y is equal to f of x. Mean when you substitute the value of x and you get y from the given equation, then those set of points, those ordered pairs in which y is actually comes from the equation when you substitute x in that equation. So that ordered pairs are called, make those set of ordered pairs make the graph of that function or the graph of that equation. In other words, in this case f of xy will be 0. What does it mean? It means that every point on the curve will be the solution of that equation. For example, 1 1 is the point lying on this curve. So when you substitute 1 in place of x and 1 in place of y, you will always get left hand right equal to right hand side equal to left hand side. Mean equation will be satisfied on that point. Similarly, if you see 2 4 2 4 is the point which lying on the कर्व. सो ये जो पॉइंट है ये भी इक्वेशन को सेटिस्फाई करेगा. y की जगह पे 4 और x की जगह पे आप 2 पुट कर ले तो 4 इक्वल टू 4. तो इक्वेशन लेफ्ट राइट इक्वल है, तो मीन इक्वेशन इस पर सेटिस्फाई. सो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जो पॉइंट कर्व के ऊपर होगा वो उस गिवन इक्वेशन का सोल्यूशन होगा. ओके, यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं दिस इज द बेसिक definition of the graph of a function. Okay, now in other words you can say that the graph of an equation or a function in two variable x and y is the collection of all points, the collection of all points. So you see that ये मैंने सेट बिल्डर नोटेशन में लिखा है. तो दिस इज द कलेक्शन ऑफ ऑल पॉइंट्स. उन तमाम पॉइंट्स की कलेक्शन के लिए मैंने एक ऑर्डर्ड पेयर लिया हुआ है. अब इस ऑर्डर्ड पेयर के ऊपर कंडीशन कौन सी होगी? whose coordinate x and y, whose coordinate x and y satisfies the equation. So ये आपके पास यहाँ मैंने मैथमेटिकल फॉर्म में लिखा है. इस y इज इक्वल टू एफ ऑफ एक्स का यही मतलब है कि आपके पास एक्स वाई कोऑर्डिनेट गिवन इक्वेशन को सेटिस्फाई करेंगे. तो दैट इज द definition of the graph of a function which is written in the set builder notation. Okay, there are two frequently asked questions in plane and analytic geometry. If we have a graph, mean geometrical representation, you see this is the geometrical representation given. If this geometrical representation is given, then the corresponding equation can be found easily. You can find this equation y equal to x square from the graphical representation of the curve. Or if an equation, mean the algebraic representation is given, then the corresponding graph can be achieved or can be viewed easily. So that's why this branch of mathematics is called analytic geometry. You see that this is the geometrical representation of the curve, the geometrical representation of this equation. So if you are interested to study this curve, you need to study the given equation. So you are dealing with curves, geometrical shapes, but for that you need to discuss, or you need to know their algebraic representation, mean equations. So that's why this branch of mathematics is called analytic geometry. Okay, now the next topic is distance between 2 points. Okay, distance between 2 points. Let's say this is the rectangular coordinate plane. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and now let's say if I consider a vector, let's say this is a vector, and on this vector consider point P and point Q. So you clearly see that point P and point Q are the points which lies in plane. So per their position, these points must has some ordered pair. Let's say the ordered pair or the point P has x coordinate x1 and y coordinate y1, and let's say Q has the coordinates x2 y2. Okay, you are interested to find out the distance between these 2 points. So the distance between these 2 points is denoted by small d, or you can denote it by absolute PQ. This is the absolute valued function which gives the distance. So okay, now you are finding the distance. So the x coordinate of the point P is x1, so that is the distance on the x-axis, and y coordinate is y1, so that is the distance on the y-axis. Similarly, the x coordinate of the point q is x2, so that is the distance on the x-axis, and the y coordinate of the point q is y2, so that is the distance on the y-axis. Okay, you are finding their distance. So this distance is actually x1 x1 to x2 is actually x2 minus x1. ये जो हमारे पास डिस्टेंस है ये x2 माइनस x1 है, और ये जो आपका डिस्टेंस है यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक y2 है और यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक y1 है, तो ये जो डिस्टेंस है ये वाला, दैट इज y2 माइनस y1. You clearly see that this is a right angle triangle having a right angle at this vertex. So the side opposite to the right angle is called hypotenuse. So now in this case, phi q is the hypotenuse. Okay, this line segment is the hypotenuse because this is the side opposite to the 90 degree. So in the given right angle triangle, if I apply the Pythagoras theorem, so hypotenuse square will be equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides, and you can apply the Pythagoras theorem because Pythagoras theorem says that if a triangle is a right angle triangle, then the hypotenuse square will be equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides. So it is a right angle triangle. You clearly see that this vertex contain 90 degree. So according to the Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square will be equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides. So you clearly see that the base has length x2 minus x1 and the perpendicular is length y2 minus y1. So this is the sum of the squares of remaining two sides, and we are interested in the distance between point P and Q, which is the absolute of PQ are denoted by small d. So take the square root on both sides. So phi q absolute will be equal to x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Now in this case we ignore minus because it is a distance and distance will be always positive. You know from the definition of the absolute valued function that x absolute is equal to x if x is greater than or equal to 0, and minus x if x is less than 0. So this minus x is positive quantity because x is itself negative, so absolute is always positive, so that's why we ignore the minus sign. Okay, so this is the distance between 2 points. Now in this case, the distance between origin having coordinate 0 0 and point P having coordinate x1 y1, what is the distance between these 2 points? So the distance between these 2 points OP, that will be equal to x1 square plus y1 square, because x1 minus 0, in this case x2 and y2 become 0. Okay, now so this is the distance between OP. Now this is the point Q having coordinate x2 y2. So the distance between OQ, the distance between OQ will be equal to x2 square plus y2 square, because in this case the point is O and Q, so in this case x1 y1 is 0. Okay, now if we have a horizontal line, let's say this is a horizontal line, this point is P and this point is Q. So let's say this is x1, so the coordinate of this point P is x1 and y coordinate is y1, and this is x2, this is y1, so it will be the coordinates of the point Q will be x2 y1, because in this case on the horizontal line there is no vertical distance, so it means that there will be no vertical change. So anywhere on this line segment the y coordinate will be always y1. So the distance between these 2 points PQ, when the line is horizontal, so that will be x2 minus that will be in that case that will be x2 minus x1 whole square, because y1 and y2 are the same, so that will become 0. So in this case the distance will be x2 minus x1 whole square, the distance between these 2 points. These are the important points. Now if we have a vertical line, so on vertical line the x coordinate will be the same anywhere in this line segment. So let's say this is x1 y1, so and let's say this is point 2, so that will be x1 y2. So the distance between these 2 points will be y1, or you can say y2 minus y1 whole square. So these are some important points. Okay. Onward we are going to discuss an example. The example is example 6.1.2, which is included in the accelerated course. You need to show that the triangle has the triangle with vertices. These are the vertices given in the example: -2, -3. The second vertex is 2, 1, and the third vertex is -2, 5. You need to verify that the triangle with these vertices is a right angle triangle. So for that, you see, let's say if I draw a figure in rough, let's say this is a triangle. Let's say this is a vertex C, -2, 5. This is a vertex A, -2, -3, and this is a vertex B, 2, 1. So this is a triangle. You need to show that this triangle is a right angle triangle. So now you know from the Pythagoras theorem, if a triangle is a right angle triangle, then the square of hypotenuse will be equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides. So if I show that the line segments, if I show that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides, or in other words you can say that if I show that the uh, length of the square of one side is equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides, so that will be then this triangle will become a right angle triangle according to Pythagoras theorem, because hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus perpendicular square is only true when the triangle is a right angle triangle. So अगर इस बात को मैं सही साबित कर लूँ कि hypotenuse square is equal to base square प्लस परपेंडिकुलर स्क्वायर, तो अगर ये बात मैं सही साबित कर सकूं तो ये आपके पास सही तब होता है जब आपके पास ट्राइंगल राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल हो, तो फिर ये आपका जो ट्राइंगल है ये राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल कहलाएगा। तो ये हाइपोटेन्यूज बेस और परपेंडिकुलर को पहले आपने फाइंड करना होगा, और ये आपके पास ट्राइंगल के साइड्स के लेंथ है, और ट्राइंगल के साइड्स के लेंथ यहाँ पे हमारे पास डिस्टेंस बिटवीन टू पॉइंट्स हैं। अगर मैंने ए बी साइड का लेंथ फाइंड करना है, सो दैट इज द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन पॉइंट ए एंड बी, यहाँ x1 y1 x2 y2। if you are finding the length of the side BC, so that is the distance between the point B and C, x1 y1 and x2 y2. Similarly, the length of a line segment AC mean the side of the triangle AC is the distance between the point A and C. So by using the distance formula we can find these sides length. तो यहाँ पे हमने ए बी का साइड लेंथ जब फाइंड किया अकॉर्डिंग टू डिस्टेंस फार्मूला, तो दैट इज स्क्वायर रूट 32, बी सी is square root 32 and CA is square root 64. So if I take the square of this, so you will get 64, and if I take the square of AB, so that is 32, and the square of side BC is 32. So it clearly shows that the CA side length square is equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides. So it shows that this AC is the hypotenuse. So this angle will be 90 degree. This is a 90 degree because the side opposite to 90 is always a hypotenuse. You clearly see that hypotenuse square is equal to sum of the squares of remaining two sides. So this condition is true here. So it is only true in such triangles which are right angle triangle. So this is a right angle triangle, so we can say that these are the vertices of a right angle triangle. So this is the example. Now अगर आपके पास यहाँ पे एक इंटरनल डिवीजन है कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ अ पॉइंट दैट डिवाइड्स अ लाइन सेगमेंट इन अ गिवन रेशियो, तो उनमें से एक हमारे पास है इंटरनल डिवीजन। इंटरनल डिवीजन, अगर हमारे पास एक लाइन सेगमेंट है फी x1 y1 x2 y2, ये आपका एक लाइन सेगमेंट है, और इस लाइन सेगमेंट को R एक पॉइंट है जिसके कोऑर्डिनेट x और y हैं, और वो इस लाइन सेगमेंट को m/n में डिवाइड कर लें, तो उस केस में R के जो कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे x और y, ये इन टर्म्स ऑफ x1 y1, और जिस रेशो में इस पॉइंट ने इस लाइन सेगमेंट PQ को डिवाइड किया है ये x और y क्या होंगे। तो आपके पास x की वैल्यू यहाँ होगी m1 x2 प्लस m2 x1 डिवाइडेड बाय m1 प्लस m2, एंड द वैल्यू ऑफ y will be equal to m1 y2 plus m2 y1 divided by m1 plus m2. So these are the coordinates of the point which divide the given point internally in the given line segment internally in the ratio m/n. Now if this division is external, what does it mean? you see that this is the internal division. Now external division. Let's say this is a line segment P and Q, and let's say R is a point outside this line segment. This P has coordinate x1 y1, Q has coordinates x2 y2, and the coordinates of the R is xy, which divides externally. Now this is the external division. This is the external division. So if it divide externally the line segment in ratio m ratio n, so in that case the coordinates of the points x in terms of x1 y1 will be equal to m1, x will be m1 x2 minus m2 x1 divided by m1 minus m2, and y coordinate will be equal to m1 y2 minus m2 y1 divided by m1 minus m2. So this is the external division, and that one is the internal division, a point which divides the given line segment in the ratio m ratio n, and you can prove it by using the theorem that is the basic result in the vector algebra. If in the plane we have a point A and a point B, and if I draw a position vector to the point A, so that is denoted by small a, and that is the position vector for a point B. So then a vector AB will be equal to B minus A. So from this result you can prove the external and the internal division of the point which divide the given line segment P and Q with the coordinates x1 y1 and x2 y2 respectively into m ratio n. Now midpoint formula: if this R divides the given line segment in the ratio 1:1, so in that case x will be equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y will be equal to y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So these are the coordinates of the midpoint of the given line segment. PQ has coordinate x1 y1 and x2 y2 respectively, so that is called midpoint formula. Okay, one more thing: if we have a triangle, let's say this is a triangle. Okay, we have this is the last topic before the exercise 7.1. so centroid. What is centroid? If we have a triangle, let's say this is the triangle, vertex A, let's say this is B, and let's say this is C. So this is a triangle. If I draw medians from each vertex to the opposite side. Now what is median? The line segment from a vertex to the opposite side which divides the opposite side into two equal parts, mean bisect the opposite side, so that is called median. So ये आपके पास एक मीडियन है, ये अपोजिट साइड को सिर्फ बाइसेक्ट करेगा, डिवाइड करेगा, ये मिड पॉइंट होगा. ओके, अगर आपके पास एक वर्टेक्स से अपोजिट साइड के ऊपर आप एक परपेंडिकुलर ड्रा कर लें तो वो कहलाएगा अल्टीट्यूड. तो यहाँ पे अगर आप मीडियंस ड्रा कर लें तो ये आपके पास है मीडियंस. सो नाउ दिस इज अनदर मीडियन, और यहाँ पे ये आपके पास है मीडियंस. सो दीज मस्ट बी द मिड पॉइंट्स. these three must be the mid point. So ये आपके पास है मीडियन. मीडियन की पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन आपके पास ये है, तो वी कैन से दैट मीडियंस आर कंकरेंट, मीन उनकी पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन आपके पास एक होती है तो वो कंकरेंट कहलाते हैं. ये जो आपका आपके पास ये जो वर्टिसेस हैं इनकी कोऑर्डिनेट्स अगर आपके पास गिवन हो x1 y1 x2 y2 और x3 y3, तो उस केस में ये जो G आएगा, एक्चुअली दिस इज द पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन ऑफ द मीडियंस. तो इस पॉइंट G को, लेट्स से दिस इज G, इसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स हमारे पास होंगे x और y बिकॉज दिस इज अ पॉइंट इन प्लेन. इसको हम कहते हैं सेंट्राइड. इसको हम कहते हैं centroid, mean the point at which all the medians intersect each other. तो ये आपके पास कहलाता है सेंट्राइड. और सेंट्राइड के जो कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे एक्स वाई इन टर्म्स ऑफ द वर्टिसेस, क्योंकि वर्टिसेस के जो कोऑर्डिनेट्स है, वर्टिक्स भी एक पॉइंट है प्लेन का, तो उसके भी कोऑर्डिनेट्स आपके पास दो कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे. तो इन टर्म्स ऑफ द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ द वर्टिसेस सेंट्राइड के जो कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे तो x आपके पास बराबर होगा x1 प्लस x2 प्लस x3 डिवाइड बाई 3, और y आपके पास होगा y1 प्लस y2 प्लस y3 डिवाइडेड बाई 3. तो ये आपके पास सेंट्राइड के कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे. तो आपके पास जो पॉइंट G है, पॉइंट G आपके पास होगा x1 प्लस x2 प्लस x3 डिवाइड बाई 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. So this is the centroid. अब अगर हम ड्रा कर ले, if I draw the angle bisectors, so angle bisectors में हमें जो मिलेगा वो आपके पास उनकी कोऑर्डिनेट्स जो होंगी. now let's say okay, that's enough for this. This only involves in the exercise. Angle bisector is excluded in the accelerated course, so that's why we are not going to discuss that. So ये आपके पास है सेंट्राइड. तो ये जितनी डिस्कशन हमने की है ये एक्सरसाइज 7.1 के अंदर यूज़ होगी. तो 7.1 में आप लोगों ने कौन कौन से क्वेश्चंस करने हैं यहाँ अगर आप देख लें. इन 7.1 you need to solve question number 2. The 3 points A, B and C show that AB absolute plus BC absolute equal to AC absolute. So what does it mean? You need to find out AB absolute, so that is the distance between point A and B. So for AB absolute, BC absolute and AC absolute you will use the distance formula. ये आप आसानी से कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन 3 में आपके पास ए बी सी डी 4 पॉइंट्स गिवन हैं. ये आपने शो करने की दीज आर दी वर्टिसेस ऑफ अ स्क्वायर. सो अगर ये स्क्वायर के वर्टिसेस हैं तो आपके पास ए बी बी सी सी डी और ए डी के जो लेंथ होंगे, मीन डिस्टेंस बिटवीन दीज पॉइंट्स, वो आपके पास इक्वल होने चाहिए, क्योंकि स्क्वायर के जो अपोजिट तमाम साइड्स होते हैं वो इक्वल इन लेंथ होते हैं. तो डिस्टेंस फार्मूला आपने यहाँ पे भी यूज़ करना है. रेक्टेंगल के केस में अपोजिट साइड का लेंथ इक्वल होता है. डिस्टेंस फार्मूले के थ्रू आपने ए बी बी सी सी डी और ए डी फाइंड करना है. उनमें देखना है कि दो दो आपके पास इक्वल होंगे. फिर आपने फाइंड करना है कि दीज आर दी वर्टिसेस ऑफ आइसोसेलेस ट्राइंगल. तो ये याद रख लें कि आइसोसेलेस ट्राइंगल के अंदर ये थोड़ा सा यहाँ देख लें कि व्हाट इज आइसोसेलेस ट्राइंगल. अगर आपका ये एक ट्राइंगल है तो इसमें लेट्स से दिस इज ए बी और सी. सो ए सी साइड का लेंथ और बी सी साइड का लेंथ अगर आपके पास इक्वल है और ये दोनों लेंथ इसके बराबर ना हो तो फिर ये कहलाएगा आइसोसेलेस ट्राइंगल. और ये याद रख लें कि हमारे पास एक रिजल्ट है कि दी वर्टेक्स अपोजिट टू दी इक्वल साइड विल बी ऑलवेज कंटेन दी सेम एंगल्स. तो आपके पास ये वर्टेक्स इस साइड के अपोजिट है और ये वर्टेक्स इस साइड के, और ये दोनों इक्वल साइड्स हैं. तो इक्वल साइड्स के अपोजिट वर्टेक्स के ऊपर आपके पास क्या होंगे? सेम एंगल्स होंगे, सेम एंगल. तो यहाँ और यहाँ का एंगल सेम होगा. तो ये आइसोसेलेस ट्राइंगल है. आइसोसेलेस ट्राइंगल में भी आपने इसी तरह ए बी बी सी और ए सी को फाइंड करके इनमें दो इक्वल होंगे और तीसरा इनके बराबर नहीं होगा। फाइंड द पॉइंट विच इज़ इक्वल डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम ए बी एंड सी। आपने एक ऐसा पॉइंट फाइंड करना है जो तीनों से इक्वल डिस्टेंस हो। तो यहाँ पे भी डिस्टेंस फार्मूला आपने यूज़ करना है। यहाँ इंटरनल डिवीजन और एक्सटर्नल डिवीजन है। जिस तरह आपके पास पी क्यू पॉइंट्स थे तो वो इंटरनली पी क्यू को आर डिवाइड कर रहा था रेशो एम रेशो एन में। तो यहाँ पे 5:7 है। तो एम की वैल्यू 5, एन की वैल्यू 7 और x1 y1 और x2 y2 आपके पास गिवन है। तो इन टर्म आप x1 y1 x2 y2 आर के कोऑर्डिनेट्स जो पॉइंट पी क्यू को एक्सटर्नली या इंटरनली एम रेशो एन में डिवाइड कर रहा था। इसी तरह सिमिलरली आप क्वेश्चन नंबर 10 के भी दो पार्ट्स है, ये भी आप कर सकते हैं। नाउ दिस इज द एक्सटर्नल डिवीजन। सिमिलरली क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 में भी आप कर सकते हैं, ये भी उसी रेशो से रिलेटेड है, इंटरनल या एक्सटर्नल। और ये आपके पास है सेंट्रॉइड। तो यहाँ पे ट्राइंगल के 3 वर्टिसेस गिवन है। तो अगर ट्राइंगल के 3 वर्टिसेस x1 y1 x2 y2 और x3 y3 गिवन है तो उस के लिहाज से हम आसानी से सेंट्रॉइड का जो फार्मूला है जिनमें कोऑर्डिनेट्स x और y सेंट्रॉइड के x1 + x2 + x3 डिवाइड बाई 3 x की वैल्यू और y की वैल्यू y1 + y2 + y3 डिवाइड बाई 3 y की वैल्यू होती है। तो ये काइंडली आप कर लें और ये मुझे आप लोग कल तक सबमिट कर लें। सो दैट इज़ दी असाइनमेंट। आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं ये आप लोगों का असाइनमेंट है और काइंडली इसको आप सबमिट कर लें थ्रू ईमेल। कल तक आप सबमिट कर लें, ईमेल के थ्रू सबमिट कर लें। आप लोगों ने इसको व्हाट्सअप नहीं करना है। ईमेल मैं यहाँ लिख रहा हूँ SARTAJALISTD@uop.edu.pk। तो काइंडली इस ईमेल के ऊपर इस क्वेश्चंस को करके आप काइंडली इसको सबमिट कर लें। थैंक यू।